Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just got finished watching a video by oh crap, I gotta look it up. I think it's like some fitness guy on the YouTubes, and I felt as if I needed to throw my 2 cents in. That's why it's gonna be like a shorter, like 15-minute video about the fallacy of masculinity. Now, the fallacy of masculinity can be a lot of things, right? Like you could have like guys who copy other guys, like mannerisms, like basically impersonate other men, and like while that can be endearing to some, it's annoying to others. So yeah, revival fitness. So he did this takedown, breakdown of what started with what's his name, Jeff Nippard, and he's talking about like all these guys who are air quotes so strong, but they're actually natural, and it was bullshit. Like Farhat, shit, Farhat. I'm butchering his name. Hussein. That's the last name I can get because it's famous. Yo, motherfucker out here talking mad shit. First, he says he's natural, puts natural in his fucking biology, his biography, and his fucking Instagram. And then like there's a video of him talking with Greg Doucette. And I don't understand like a lot about Greg Doucette, like, whatever. I just see his name popping up in like the fitness whatever. But apparently like, he's according to Revival Fitness, he's a shady guy, whatever. I don't really like him because he's always trying to push shit, and he sounds like one of those guys who just can't exist without product. You know what I mean? Like I don't see him working out to the same success without some sort of he's on TRT, but like other like androgens, steroids, other PEDs. What's the other one? GH. GH is actually a pretty rare one to come by. I did not know this, but depending on the quality that you're gonna get, it's gonna cost you way more than steroids. Because I remember like that was one of the sticking points that Liver King had, was that he was taking like a ton of GH. I don't want to get into like enough to like look the way he did, right? And then it cost him like on top of the steroids and all the other shit, and like contracting his doctor and shit. I think he might have gotten ripped off, but like he was so rich, he's ripping other people off. So why shouldn't the doctor or his like steroid doctor rip him off, or is like whatever the guy hooking him up? And I bring this up because this is the fallacy of masculinity, right? Like so many people, like I was guilty of this too, idolize Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? His movies are great, Terminator, True Lies, etc., right? But the man himself, he abandoned one of his kids. He doesn't like Trump a whole lot, despite the fact that he knows deep down inside the other side's way worse. The other side's way worse. And at one point, I thought he was a Republican. What happened? What changed? Well, that's right. The Republican that didn't want to commit to like wars and stuff. Like what was it again? Like 6 million. Like World War II levels of casualties in the Russia versus Ukraine war, and it's about to end. And like in the beginning, I was all for Ukraine. I thought Russia was like 100% the aggressor, but like there's something shady going on that we're all gonna find out about like later, because I don't see Trump like as an antagonist, right? So why is he so dismissive? Because he's gonna be meeting with Zelensky on Monday. He already met with Putin in Alaska just recently. Like I said, see them? They're so happy. They're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Everybody's just like having a good time, man. And you could probably feel like the how pissed off Zelensky is at Putin. Because here's the thing, right? When Trump was president, everybody was fucking afraid of him his first term because nobody could predict him. Nobody knew what he was about. And now everybody knows that like he's actually moderate in comparison to the opposition. Like you have Sleepy Joe, and he basically gave up like military hard assets to a country that is nefarious, and like I wouldn't put it by me that like the Qataris or like other Arab Gulf states are gonna want their hands on that American hardware, and they'll pay top dollar for it, right? Although to be fair, they'll probably be able to buy it themselves. so it's probably like higher quality. That's kind of bullshit. But like other Gulf states, other Arabs states are like way less poor and more radicalized. Like we're beginning to see like a schism and a shift between like certain Gulf Arab states. Like they start to hate each other. So and I wanted to make this video to talk about. I don't actually know if I made this. Like I discussed this topic. So there was these two brothers and their mom in an airport. I think like I don't know if their dad was with them or something. I just remember there was like two brothers. One was fat. The other one had like a fucking helmet head, like the worst possible haircut you could ever get, and his nose looked like fugly and shit. But the craziest thing about this guy, well, I'll get into it, right? So apparently, and this is where the racism of the Gulf states, like people don't understand that like Arabs are racist. Like they think that like there's a unity between the Muslims. Like the largest casualty, like the largest religion that caused casualties in Islam is Muslims, right? So other Muslims are the biggest threat to other Muslims, right? It's not Christians or Jews or anything. Like yeah, a lot of Muslims die in what do you call it, the Israeli Palestine war in Gaza. But overall, if we're going to be honest and accurate, like the majority of Muslims die by the hands of other Muslims. And it's for, various reasons. Like a lot of the times, it's like some crazy reasons like I can never understand, like Sunni versus Shiite. And then they'll like attack on the holiest day, like Ramadan, and like attack a mosque in Iran. And these guys have serious, serious, serious bad blood. Like I did not know this, but okay. Well, there is bad blood between certain Arab countries, and like I think the Gulf Arab countries, if I'm not mistaken, because she went to the mom in this story, this incident, went to Qatar or wherever, some Gulf Arab state, and then she got told off like by these actual Arabs, like yo, you don't belong here. You're not actually Muslim, yada 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 yada, right? And then she's just like, yo, I had to deal with this shit on the flight back home. These are these fucking, Arabs and shit. Like, and then the sons corner him in and he's with his wife and kid in an airport, right? This is how fucking retarded these Pakis are. Like, no wonder the Arabs don't consider you Muslim. You're fucking trash. So then you go and you go confront them. You corner him. You have the numbers advantage. The mom is like seriously like backing him up. Like, yeah, these are the guys. These are the guys. Go get him, son. And then the son headbutts the man, right? And then they leave. Like nothing happened. And I don't know what they were doing, like that vending machine or something. And then they get, the cops just come on and like try to fucking arrest them. And then a scuffle breaks out, and it is fucked up. Like, these Pakis, like I said, guri guri. That's their prized possession, like their object of desire. But like they can't understand a world where women hold positions of authority and power, and they're like trying to like grab him. One of them is trying to grab him by the neck. I don't know why they did that, but and then like they started struggling and fighting, and then like they started punching each other. The guy got punched, and this fucker close fist punched a woman in the fucking face, and you see the blood pooling out of her nose and all this shit. Oh my god! And I think he did worse. Like I think he also hit the other girl, and like, dude. But like, you should see that one girl with the broken nose, and like, it's on video and shit too in the United Kingdom airport or whatever. Oh, dude, it was just hard. It was harsh to watch, and I don't like necessarily have the highest opinion of the authorities in the United Kingdom, but it's like, yo, can you imagine those two girls who are like, yo, doing the patrol for like the fucking catcalling, and then you have like the juxtaposition of these two girls, right? One of them getting seriously critically injured and stuff, and for over what some shit this guy starts. The cops have nothing to do with this. There's no reason for this guy to be aggressive against the cops, and so that's not all. It gets better. This story gets better. So these fucking Pakis, right? In their infinite wisdom, they pull out their cell phone, and they like to do this. These fucking child rapists, they love to fucking play innocent and stuff. See that whole incident with the lady calling that kid the N word, and the guys who pulled out the cell phone. Yeah, what did you do again? Did you like fucking sexually assault a little kid? And then you're fucking trying to play, the moral high stance and shit. Get the fuck out of here. So these motherfuckers filmed not the beating that the female police officer got, and she's like crying in the corner, bleeding, out of her nose and mouth. It's like gushing blood, right? Um, they just get it when the guy's on the ground, and the guy, the male police officer, he's pissed, right? I think he got hit in the incident. If you go look it up on the internet, you'll see it. UK fight Pakistanis, whatever. Um, Actually, I might link the video, just for the sake of being concise. So they lie. They absolutely lie about the incident. They say, "Oh no, we're innocent. We didn't do anything. These guys just kicked me in the head." I was like, "Whoa!" And when it came out that they did this shit, I don't know if it was the catalyst or one of the catalysts, because I know it was the Axel Runakabana like knifing bullshit, where the government was complicit, right? Keir Starmer was the actual lawyer who got his family, Axel's family, into the country. So it's so fucking shame. It looks so fucking shameful on his part. Like this guy is possibly the most one of the most hated politicians I've seen in my lifetime, right? But that's floating around. Like guys using steroids and pretending that they're not. Like this was a Hussein guy, using the steroids, and he's just lying to you. These guys, they beat down a woman, they're pretending that they're innocent, they're just lying to you. And this is what you have to understand. There is a level of fallacy, and it's not just involving Muslims, although they do have that thing, written into the religion where they say, oh, you do this, and you can just lie to unbelievers. It's no big deal. But I see this as a coming of age for our sensibilities. We understand that a lot of our problems come from men. And now we have to. I think I might have touched on it, but I'm just going to get into more emphasis about it. So Drake is seeking discovery on Kendrick Lamar. He wants to know genetically. And I think the judge, shot it down, thankfully. But the fact that he even asked for it, paints a weird ass picture. Like, the fuck? And then I just wanted to know more. And then I watched this whatever you call it, biography of this guy called Pusha T. And I heard this guy's name a lot. And to be fair, I thought he was from Toronto because he had the name Pusha T, but no. Yeah, this guy basically spelled it out for everybody, and he predicted it like Nostradamus. He said yo, Drake didn't know his dad. His parents got divorced at 5. His mom never remarried, and that's why he hates the whole husband-wife dynamic and thing like that. And that's why he's secretly hating on. Well, he's not secretly hating. He's trying to ask the judge to subpoena weird ass information, and I don't even know how the fuck you can get that. How do you go from being trying to start a trial over what do you call it, slander, because people are calling you a pedophile, rightfully so. It's just, you're fucking weird, man. Uh, you go from that to this level of interrogation, and I'm wondering to myself, did your lawyers ask for this? It just seems so off to me. What? Why? It's the most emasculating thing I've ever heard of in my entire. I haven't seen it. Obviously. I've ever heard of in my entire life, and I fail to find a way to go about explaining it in greater detail. So it's just going to be one of those shorter videos where I just compile my thoughts on the fallacy of masculinity, and how so many guys out there, whether you're taking roids or whether you were never a man to begin with, right? Or all these things about fake men, living in our world, like the cat man in what do you call that game? Battlefield 6. That fake man, the fallacy of masculinity. And he calls himself a girl, and that is the fallacy. No, you are a man. You're just not really a man. You're just a weakling. And instead of being called, a wuss, a sissy, or a weakling, you just pretend that you can push that, your weakness on women. And that's why we have to, as men, stick up for women. We shouldn't allow ourselves and other men Like, if women want to do it, whatever, just let them do it. If they want to play these stupid games and pretend like a guy can be a girl, whatever, man. Just don't argue with them. It's just like they've been through enough. Like, can you imagine a lot of girls probably came out and said like this is wrong and stuff, and then they're probably like surrounded by a circle of other women who are just like chewing them out and stuff, and it's this weird kind of dynamic where it's not the same as guys, where we understand like common sense and we're very logical. Like women will just like put all this like extra layers of unnecessary, emotionally charged reasons as to why you should call a guy she, her, whatever. It's so dumb, so fucking dumb, dude. And this is where we're at right now. The fallacy of mankind, masculinity. Okay? I hate it, man. That's why I wear lipstick and nail polish. That's why I do these things. Like, there is no way that you can be a man in this world without experiencing the hardships and the limitations of other men. Because their hardships and their limitations bleed off into you. So you are never going to be able to escape it, only, surpass your limitations. But the fallacy of masculinity is, only becoming more and more apparent as time goes on. Well, thanks for watching my shorter video about this stuff. Take care, and have a nice day.